Good morning, ladies.
Hey, hey! We are back to an actual introduction video this week. Alyssa and I are maybe not completely healed and well, but we are on the road. We're hoping to get there. So,
We got to keep praying for Miss Jones.
yeah.
Her ears continue to improve, but
Yes, I would appreciate that very much. So this week we are going with two chapters again, chapters 12 and 13. What do you have out of chapter 12 for us?
well, chapter 12 is on the awkward disappointment of saying no. And it can get really awkward when we feel compelled to say no to someone. And I think a lot of times it does prevent us from saying no because we don't want to disappoint others and things. I think there's several things in this chapter I really did like, and it's more. I think these two chapters are more thought-provoking. At least they were for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one idea.
Right.
But on page 148, she talks about how the difference between having confidence in ourselves and our own ability and having a deep conviction based on God's truth in our ability and what he says that we can do. And then she goes into talking about Caleb and Joshua and how when they went in with the other spies to the promised land, they came back and reported based on their convictions about what God said instead of what they felt. All the other spies were talking about, how big the giants were, and their reports were fear-based, based in their lack of confidence in their own ability. And she talks about how we have a tendency to do that, but that's not what God wants us to do. He wants us to be like Joshua and Caleb and stand and make decisions based on our conviction about what God said that we are and what we can do.
Yes, and that is so hard when you want to say no or when you want to say yes, no matter the situation. Like, you need to walk out on confidence on what God says, on his confidence and your conviction of what he says about you. But when fear takes in, and you don't want to be the awkward one in the room that's like, no, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But it's a good chapter.
And I think we have a tendency to think, well, that must mean that we have to go out and do things that we wouldn't normally maybe take on. And I think in some circumstances, yes, but I think it also, we have to stand on our convictions and what we know God says and have healthy boundaries. And if we know that a decision or we're tempted to do something for someone else because, they have a need and they expect us to do it, we have to stand on our convictions about what we know is true in our life.
Right. And
what's best for our family and our walk with God.
Yes, I agree. Chapter 13 is talking about what if I say no and they stop liking me. And I know as a woman, this chapter was really good in a lot of different ways, but that's something that I struggle with. I don't want to disappoint people, and I don't want people to not like me, but the big overarching theme in this is you're not going to be able to please people. And if your no displeases them, eventually your yes is going to displease them. It doesn't matter what you say. In one way or the other, people need to like you based on you and not what you can do for them. There's a really funny story, and I'm not going to give it away, but it's about Brooke and her preschool, a day at preschool. And ladies, oh my.
You're going to love it.
You'll love
very
it.
Funny.
I have never had that happen, and I'm so thankful. But it's like pee your pants laughing. And I've read this book several times, and every time I come to it, I'm like, oh my gosh. But the thing that I really wanted to share with you and take out of chapter 13 comes from the very end of the chapter. And it says, remember, relationships don't fit in neat little boxes. Often the best ones slop over the edges of neat and normal, and that's okay.
Praise Jesus for that.
Oh my goodness. And ladies, we need to come to a place where that's okay. That we have come to a place in our relationships, and the best ones truly, they don't fit in neat little boxes, and they do spill over, and they are sloppy and messy, and those are the best friendships because they can see you as sloppy and messy, and
there's grace.
And yes, and they're okay with that, and they understand that you're not perfect. And ladies, I hope that this study has, ladies here in the Sunday school class, I hope that you guys are building relationships that really look like that, that are not fitting in neat little boxes, that are truly being able to slap over the edges and be messy together. And I hope that the online community, that you're continuing to do that as well, because that's really what it's all about. We love Jesus together. We want to be best friends together, make our best yeses together. So,
Amen.
All right, ladies, have a wonderful Sunday. We will see you online this week. I hope you're able to read these 2 great chapters. See you later. Bye.
Ta-ta.